All right, good morning. My Tabor City home here. And anybody who's been following the channel for any amount of time would know that there was a big gap right here at the beginning of the year where I didn't make any videos. And a good part of that would be because of this. And what this is right around, I think, February. All the toilets in the house started bubbling when you took a shower and just all kinds of issues going on. And what it ended up being was we had our main sewer line to the house was blocked up. It was blocked. Um, it was the last 20-foot section of sewer line to this house was absolutely like it had concrete in it. It was terrible. The house line was so old that there was not even a clean out in the entire line, from the point that it came out of the structure all the way down to the roadway. The only clean out in all of it was a clean out that the city installed when they hooked service from the house to the main sewer up out of the roadway, and everything beyond that flowed perfect. It was just that last 20 feet between the house and the city line that was blocked up. So we ended up digging up the yard, digging a trench. Took the backhoe, the old 555 triple nickel. Came out here, took the backhoe, dug the main line out, and decided while we had the main line dug up, we were going to go ahead and put some cleanouts out. So we now have in this line 3 cleanouts in here. But in doing that, we put the line in, put it in, filled everything back in, and our water table here is extraordinarily high, and the soil composition is clay. So we put the main line in, and the line sunk in 2 spots, and so we didn't have a good flow all the way from the house to the street. Stuff would back up in these 2 little spots. So I don't want to have to deal with this 10 years from now again and have to go through and try to redo this thing. So just dug the whole thing back up again. My neighbors are like, dude, what are you doing? This is crazy. So we dug the whole thing back up again, pulled all the lines out of the dirt, got in a couple loads of sand, and bedded it, put about 2 feet of sand down. Laid the pipe on top of sand, made sure that our grade on the pipe was exactly what it should be, put another about 1.5 feet of sand on top of the pipe, and then filled it back in, and feeling pretty good about it right now. It's actually been really good for us, and I have kind of held back on doing a whole lot with the yard because I was wanting to make sure that we weren't going to have any more issues with pipe sinking on us. So fast forward to now, this is May 2nd now. And here we are, May 2nd, and the yard is what it is. I mean, it looks the way it looks. Grass is, not what I would want it to be. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm a guy who takes a lot of pride in his yard, and the fact that my yard looks like this right now is just not what I like. So got a guy on a moped over here. So on top of it being not the grass that I would want, it's also got a lot of spots in there that are low or high or whatever, and it just needs to be leveled out. So the issue being that we need to get this yard leveled out so we can get some grass planted and get this thing back looking the way that it should look. So, well, we had a guy locally here named Don Prince who brought us a load of sand. Really good guy. I've actually that's who I got the original sand from when we did the trench. We got him to drop us a load of sand yesterday, and we're borrowing this John Deere tractor here with a box blade on it from the local mill. And the guy, one of the owners of the mill, is actually a neighbor of mine. He offered it, and I really, I'm not a guy who likes to borrow other people's equipment if I can help it. But to be honest with you, I was out here with a tiller and a shovel and a rake trying to get this thing done, and it's just, it's just taking a tremendous amount of time, and I'm not going to be able to get this yard where it needs to be in the amount of time before I pretty much have lost a season's worth of grass if I don't get on top of it. So we got the sand, we got the box blade with the tractor, and we're going to get this thing leveled out today. And then we can get on to some of the other projects we got to do. We got some other things we got to do. We got to bury some conduit and some of that kind of stuff. So And I figured I'd take you guys along with this today. So here we go, box blading the yard. Alright, so through the magic of YouTube, it's the next morning. Got out here, got spreading, and just camera ran out of battery, and I just had to get this done. I was actually borrowing the tractor and the box blade. The fellow who I borrowed it from, or the fellow who I had to bring it back to, needed to get out of work early yesterday, so went out there and got this job done, and took the tractor and the box blade back. So this is basically what we ended up with. And a couple of things I was trying to do was I was trying to get the area where we had to dig that trench filled in, trying to fix some of the yard back here on the side of the house because we had to dig up for some pipe that was over there. And then I wanted to get this area here regraded. This area here, notoriously, when I would mow the yard, if there was any moisture whatsoever, it was just horrible. And so I wanted to raise the grade. We've got a decent grade, decent slope coming down here, and then it empties out into a drainage ditch down here. It should square us away pretty good. So, you know, box blading, it was fun. I got burnt up. It was a good day yesterday. Love being outside. Love being outside. So, you know, it's fun stuff to do stuff like this. And I was a little bit concerned when I got out here and I started tearing the whole yard up that Mrs. my Tabor City home was going to come home and say, "What in the world did you do?" But she came home and looked at me and she was like, "No, it looks exactly like what we needed to do." So everything's level. Today we're going to go through and put down grass seed. I actually bought two different kinds of grass seed. I bought a centipede because that's ultimately what I want in the yard. And I bought a contractor's mix. Everything I read about this contractor's mix is it actually comes up within about 9 to 14 days. And what I wanted was a contractor mix to come up and kind of provide a little stability to the soil, as well as maybe a little bit of shade to the centipede, which is going to take a little bit longer to germinate from what I'm told. I don't know. My first experience with centipede. So, but my first experience with planting centipede, my neighbor at an older house that I had a centipede yard. I had a Bermuda yard. His yard came in there and kicked my yard's butt. I mean, it just completely took over my yard. And ultimately, I was grateful for it because it was good grass to have. And when I got up here, they said this was centipede. Not absolutely certain it was centipede. It didn't have a lot of the attributes of centipede. So that's what I'm hoping to actually transition this yard over to. Other than that, you know, man, a day on heavy equipment is a day, and it was a fantastic experience. I really truly appreciate Tabor City Lumber Company for allowing me to borrow their tractor and box blade, or Tabor City Mill rather. Good guys, Rod and Dan Sanders. They've been really good to me, and this was actually their mama's house that I bought. So they've been extraordinarily, you know, great neighbors, extraordinarily gracious people. Can't say enough about them. So like I said, today we're doing grass, but I wanted to show you what the finished product on the box blading looks like. I was really hoping to put a mount on that tractor and show you some of the box blading from the tractor view, but like I said, my camera died. I'm gonna have to get me some new batteries or something. Anyways, yeah. So let's get outside. Let's do something with our hands. Let's do some work. You know, let's fix something, plan something, build something. America's not a disposable nation. God bless.